Now we have completed a description of the methodology. Okay, so the training algorithm for deep learning, whatever the architecture is, the training algorithm for the different stages, the parameters of the different stages of the deep learning model, and also model calibration, how they automatically tune the hyperparameters of the model and then combat the stochasticity in the training and get the best model out of different random seeds that they have tried. Okay. So, what is finally remaining is how well does it do. Okay. So, what are the test results? So, all this effort we have taken to explain and understand the model architecture and then to train this, does it actually give better results compared to state of the art methods that are out there for finding motifs and predicting which sequences bind to certain proteins. Okay. That is what we will look at next. So, the first we are going to look at only a brief set of testing results, okay, one for DNA binding proteins and one for RNA binding proteins, okay, and that is only a subset of results that is shown in the paper, but these are representative results that show how it is better, how DeepBind is in fact better than state of the art. Okay. So, here it is showing for a PBM dataset, protein binding microarray dataset. The score here is basically an average of across about 66 transcription factors. Some transcription factors you have binding strength, so it is a regression problem. For some transcription factors you have 0 or 1 status. Okay, it is a classification problem. Whenever it is a classification problem, we by accuracy I mean the AUC is used, okay, area under the curve is used, and whenever you have a regression problem, you look at the correlation between the actual value and the predicted values, okay, and that correlation coefficient is used. Okay. And then the average of those Pearson correlation coefficient in terms of regression problem between actual and predicted values, and then also the AUC in terms of a classification problem across the 66 transcription factors is taken, higher the better. You can see here that across all the other competing methods in this particular data set of 66 transcription factors, DeepBind is able to perform better in the training data set and across all these methods, right. And then if you look at another data set also, a ChIP-seq data set, and then this is again a binary classification task. So, compared to all other methods that have participated in the challenge called DREAMFi challenge, they are able to beat all these other methods. Okay. So, that is good to see all the effort that the authors have put into and the effort that we have put into understand the model is useful, because this model has actually been able to work across these different data sets, both these PBM data set and also ChIP-seq data set, and then show better results than state of the art models. In terms of RNA binding proteins, again I only show a very one subset of results. You can look at this ChIP-seq experiment, ChIP experiments, and then there is the AUC that is computed based on these ChIP experiments, right, and again DeepBind is shown in red, and then the competing method is shown, the state of the art method is shown in black by Ray et al. And you can again see that for these different RNA binding proteins, the AUC higher is better, 1 is the perfect score, AUC is much better than the competing methods in some cases or comparable in other cases. Okay. So, having confirmed that the test results are good, it is better than state of the art, now we can actually go ahead and remove the black box aspect of the model and then figure out what parameters was learned by the optimal final model, right, and what does it tell about the motifs and then the mutations that may happen in these motifs, the effect of mutations on these motifs. Okay, and that comes the interpretation. So, the authors did not stop at the black box model, they also looked at what are the motif detectors. So, these M matrices that we talked about, right. So, these motif detectors are these, if there are k motif detectors, each motif detectors is a 4 cross M position weight matrix, and this can be viewed as in terms of a logo diagram, right, and that is exactly what is shown in this row. These are the DeepBind motifs, right, not just this row, this row, this row and this row, right, and then this is the known motif. I will tell you just one example of a DNA binding protein called PRDM1, and it has this G followed by 3 A's and then a G and a T and so on, and DeepBind motifs also match these motif detectors that are also learned from these sequences in this unbiased way, right, for all but this last case, right, it also matches the actual known motif. Okay. And you can also look at some of the other examples where it matches and does not match, but in a majority of the cases you are able to get similar signals to the known motif. Okay. So, for instance, here I will tell you there is lot of C's followed by lot of G's, and then you have something similar here also. Okay. But these motifs and these motifs look different. These are different motifs. It may either be erroneous predictions or it may point out to new patterns that this particular transcription factor EBF1 binds to. Okay. So, this both validates known results about what motifs the transcription factor binds to, and also gives some novel hypothesis on what other motifs these transcription factors may bind to.